Welcome, Sport Insider Express family.
Yes, we're absolutely thrilled to have you join us today.
And today, we've got a blockbuster for you that's shaking up the football world.
That's right. We're diving deep into the massive news surrounding Liverpool's potential British record bid for Alexander Isak from Newcastle. Is he coming to Anfield?
Can they afford it? Wow.
We'll break it all down. Tag along in today's podcast to get the full insider's details.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get right to the heart of the stories making waves. And today, wow, we are diving headfirst into a proper football bombshell. You've probably seen the headlines, Liverpool's audacious, really audacious, pursuit of Alexander Isak from Newcastle. It's got everyone talking, and for very good reason. So our mission for you today is to really unpack all the complex bits behind this potential British record transfer. We've looked at a whole load of sources, mainly focusing on that Liverpool's transfer Q&A from the Daily Mail online, but also pulling in related headlines, expert takes, the lot. We're going to explore if Liverpool can even, realistically afford him. We'll dig into the really interesting, maybe surprising reasons why Isak apparently wants out of Newcastle, and then, look at the huge ripples this could cause for both clubs. Okay. Let's get into it. So, the news just dropped, didn't it? Like a thunderclap, really. Alexander Isak has reportedly told Newcastle he wants to explore a move this summer. And maybe not coincidentally, he wasn't on their Far East pre-season tour. Official reason. A thigh injury, reportedly.
Now, that on its own is enough to get people talking right.
Oh, absolutely. And you really can't overstate how big this is. Our sources are confirming it in Newcastle's top people. They know Isak wants to look at his options. This isn't just, noise from agents or whispers. It feels like the player himself signaling he wants a change. That's always significant.
But it seems there's more to it than just the initial reports, isn't there? Often the case. You hear, wants to leave. You think bigger club, more money, Champions League. But the sources suggest something else is going on here, something more personal.
That's where it gets really, really interesting. Craig Hope's report, it specifically mentions Isak was, and I quote, furious with Paul Mitchell.
Furious. Wow. Paul Mitchell, the recruitment guy, formerly Spurs, Monaco.
Exactly. That's not just a minor disagreement, is it? Being furious suggests, a pretty serious breakdown. Trust gone, perhaps. And for a club like Newcastle, still building, trying to establish themselves, that kind of internal conflict, especially with a star player, a big investment like Isak, it's damaging.
Yeah, sends a bad signal maybe to other players they might want to sign.
Precisely. It suggests even key players can get alienated. So it adds this whole other dimension to why he might want to leave. Not just ambition, maybe frustration too, deep frustration.
Right, but then there's a twist.
Yeah, there's always a twist, isn't there? Despite all this fury, there's still talk he could sign a new deal at Newcastle.
Seriously? How does that work?
Well, it just shows how complex these things are, doesn't it? Player-club dynamics, contracts, leverage. It's messy. But yeah, adds another layer of intrigue.
Okay, so you get Isak potentially pushing to leave because of this internal friction. And then on the other side, Liverpool. Readying, reportedly, an official approach. A British record offer. Around 150 million.
That's a figure being floated, yeah. Staggering.
Absolutely staggering. Especially because, they've already spent quite a bit this summer, haven't they? So the big question, what I'm asking, you're probably asking, how on earth can Liverpool, even as Premier League champions, afford that much after the deals they've already done? This seems huge. What are the sources saying financially?
It's a fair question, a really fair question. But the financial breakdown in the sources, it actually makes a lot of sense when you look at it. Basically, Liverpool, for the 2 years before this window, they barely lifted a finger in the transfer market. Very conservative. Shrewd, maybe?
Right. So they were saving up in a way.
Effectively, yeah. It means they are well within the profit and sustainability rules, those P&S rules, the financial fair play stuff. By being so careful for 2 seasons, they built up this huge capacity to spend now without breaking the rules. Loads of headroom.
Okay, so they plan for a big splash eventually.
Seems like it. And they've already made big moves. You mentioned it. Florian Wirtz, what was that, 116 million?
Yeah, huge.
Hugo Ekitike, 79 million ounce. Milos Kerkez, 40 million. Frimpong, 29.5 million. Mamardashvili, the keeper, 29 million. Even that young lad, Pechi, 1.5 million. And remember that Mail Sport report from earlier? Talked about a Liverpool war chest this summer, expecting 5 or 6 key signings.
I do remember that, yeah.
Well, this fits that pattern. So the short answer to your question is yes, Liverpool absolutely can afford Isak. Their past prudence is paying off now. It's long-term strategy playing out.
That really puts it into perspective. Careful planning, then bang. But what about their current attackers? They seem pretty high on Hugo Ekitike, don't they? I saw reports saying their data tests, the fancy analytics, rated him higher than almost anyone except Mbappe and Haaland. That sounds like shrewd business already.
It does, and they clearly believe in Ekitike. He fits their model of finding talent, perhaps, before it fully explodes. But despite his arrival, despite those impressive data scores, the desire for Isak seems really, really strong. It hasn't gone away.
So it's not either.
Apparently not. Sources say they've already made an approach for Isak. Newcastle, politely, told them to go away at first.
Standard practice, I guess.
Pretty much. But Liverpool haven't been deterred. They persist. They're readying an official approach if he is genuinely available. And the feeling coming through the reports, the narrative, is that it feels like he wants Liverpool.
The player wanting the move specifically. That changes things.
It often does, yeah. Makes a deal significantly more likely if the player's pushing for one destination. They clearly see Isak as, elite, proven, someone who adds another dimension, maybe more consistent goals. They have posted their interest, yes. But the feeling is it's hard to see him going there. Given his age, his ambition, Europe's top leagues seem much more likely.
And didn't I see something about other Premier League clubs ruling themselves out?
You did. There was that headline. 2 Premier League giants rule themselves out to the race for Alexander Isak. Doesn't say who, but it narrows the field.
Interesting. So it really focuses things on Liverpool.
It kind of does. At the end of the day, the simple summary seems to be the Reds like him and he wants to leave Newcastle. And, well, usually that only ends one way in football, doesn't it?
Usually, yeah. If the money's right.
Right. If we just zoom out for a second, connect this to the bigger picture, the implications here are huge for both clubs. Massive. Think about Newcastle, losing him. A player who was reportedly furious internally, but also their main goal threat. That's a big blow. Not just goals lost, but the perception,
Yeah, the perception of their project. Can they hold on to stars once they get them? Especially if there's internal friction.
Exactly. It puts huge pressure on them to replace him effectively, which is tough. Very tough for a striker of his quality. It tests their whole structure.
And for Liverpool. This isn't just buying another player, is it? After winning the league, under a new manager, making a British record signing.
No, it's a massive statement of intent. It signals, maybe, a shift, an evolution in their transfer strategy under Slot. They're showing they'll pay absolutely top dollar for proven elite talent, not just unearth gems or develop internally. It could totally reshape their attack, give them more options, more firepower.
So it sets a new standard for their window, which was already busy, pushing to dominate, not just compete.
I think so, yeah. It shows this relentless ambition. Don't stand still, push on. It's a real power play. A fascinating display of where they see themselves.
It really is. You've got this story unfolding. A major club, Newcastle, potentially losing a star who clearly wants out, and then a rival, a top club, Liverpool, making this incredibly aggressive, high-stakes move that could completely change their team. It's like high-stakes poker, isn't it? Watching it play out. What a story. Isak possibly leaving, Liverpool flexing serious financial muscle, and a whole load of other players potentially heading for the exit to make room. It's genuinely electrifying stuff for the summer.
It really is. And, this whole saga, Isak's specific situation, his reported frustrations, combined with Liverpool's huge spending power and strategy, it tells us so much, doesn't it, about the power dynamics now between players, clubs, agents, finances, how it all works in modern football. It's definitely something to think about beyond just this one deal.
A really interesting thought to leave people with. Well, if you found this deep dive as fascinating as we did, please do make sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with more essential insights.